Calling to order regular council meeting Tuesday, May 7, 2019. The time is now 6:39. Dr. Cathy.
Austin.
Present.
Council Burton.
Present.
Council Gaddison.
Present.
Council Smith.
Present.
Council Graham.
Present.
Mayor King. Present. And Fire Chief Soliga. Present.
All right, remarks of public on agenda items, 2 minutes only. Okay, minutes to be approved. We have April 9th, 2019 finance. Can I get a motion to approve April 9th, 2019 finance? minutes?
I'm at the motion. 19 finance, meeting minutes.
I second that motion, Madam Chairman.
Okay, Council Austin.
Yay.
Council Martin.
Yay.
Council Gaddison.
Yay.
Council Smith.
Yay.
Council Graham.
Yeah.
April 9th Finance Committee minutes are approved.
I move for the approval of April 16th, 2019 regular council meeting minutes. Second.
Council Austin.
Yay.
Council Martin.
Yay.
Council Gaddison.
Yay.
Council Smith.
Yay.
Council
Thank
Graham.
you.
Yay.
And the April 16th regular council minutes are approved.
And reports and announcements from Mayor Brandon L. King.
Thank you, Council President. Welcome, East Cleveland. Thank you all for coming out tonight. On Saturday, 4/27, we began the 2019 Keep East Cleveland Clean EC kickoff. We concentrated this year on the Chapman, Elderwood area. And for those of you who have been over there since then, you've seen that we've done a significant amount of cleanup over there, working on the aesthetics as well as picking up items that were dumped over there. We also took the liberty to put some do not enter signs. So for those of you very familiar with the city, you know the area Northfield and Elderwood. As Elderwood stretches all the way down to Strathmore and Elderwood, and then the only other entrance to Elderwood is Chapman. So that whole section has been do not enter. So it's like an invisible fence blocked off. So I'm asking residents to stay out of that area. Anyone caught in that area subject to be pulled over, searched, taken through the 20 questions, right? Because of the significant amount of dumping that we have to clean up there every year. I think last year we cleaned that area up twice, right? So as a way to kind of curb that, shouldn't be any traffic back there. No one lives back there. There are no businesses back there, right? So please stay out of that area. There are some other areas that we're looking at doing the same thing too. Just wanted to make you aware of that. We are planning the Memorial Day Parade. You know, it's something we brought back in the last 2 years. It'll be Monday, May 27th. If you want to be active in it, please contact my office. We're still moving forward with the MLK rehab. Many of you know, if you came to the fiscal commission meeting, we are still waiting on thumbs up to then begin ordering the materials to do the rehab over there. Got a number of my calls in the office. I've talked to a lot of my councils, and the people are thanking me for all the demos across the city. First of all, you're welcome. I can't take all the credit for it. As we know, the neighborhood groups have played a significant part in selecting the demos on their streets and in their neighborhoods. So thank you, neighborhood groups and residents, for putting in the work on that. Potholes, we're working on that all across the city. We've had a pothole killer out here twice already, and before the end of summer, we're more than likely have to bring them back. It's one of those things we got to work on. We're picking up leaves. I've talked about the green sticker. We are working with the 3 branches of government to upgrade City Hall. Just do a little rehab in City Hall. We're still working on that. New traffic control signals again. Ground hall trapping has begun in a number of neighborhoods. We are looking for feedback from the neighborhood groups as to the success or non-success thereof. We want your feedback, so please, when you have your neighborhood group meetings, come to those meetings so that we can hear from you. And grass cutting has started, so we're going with the program we had last year, grass cutting, right? Depending on the location and the lot that's being cut, you will see some lots cut halfway back, right? And a lot of residents are fine with that after we explained it to them last year that it helps us control costs and then cut all of the vacant lots across the city. If there's a lot that a neighbor or resident wishes cut all the way, please call my office. Let's talk about it. We'll send the grass guys back out there to finish that off. Council President, any questions or concerns? That concludes my update.
I just also want to say about Chapman, when we were over there cleaning, if you walk down the sidewalks, there's manhole covers and wasn't it on the tree lines? We try to cover them up as best as we can, but if you're walking down the street down that, you could possibly fall into a hole. So just want everyone to know, not even just driving, but not walking down the way. Thank you. All right, receipts of communication, Dr. Guy.
Okay, we have a letter from the Cuyahoga County Board of Elections. They have a newly appointed director, Anthony Perlotti, and a newly appointed deputy director, Chantel Soder. They have combined service years at the Board of Elections of 25 years, so we'll be happy to meet folks, answer your questions. Then there's the Ohio Ethics Commission. All the elected officials have a due date of May 15th to get their financial disclosure forms in. You all have the information. Then the Cleveland Division of Water is having an open house this Saturday, the 11th. It is open to the public, so it's an opportunity to go see how the water is cleaned. You want to take your families. And then lastly, the Academic Distress Commission, they meet May 9th at 4:30 at the Board of Education, room 215. That's it.
Thank you. All right, reports from council committees, Councilman Austin.
Yes, thank you, Madam President. The General Service Administration did not have a quorum for the committee meeting. And the next meeting will take place on the 28th at 5:30. I'm planning to reschedule that. I have an event going on that same day. So I guess me and Dr. Guy will continue to meet with the committee to see when the best day to reschedule that for the month of May. And we did not have a meeting, however, there are some events that are going on that are significant that I think our residents should be informed on. We have been discussing the areas where the sewer district have been cleaning our city and getting our sewers ready for the resurfacing of Euclid Avenue. There are just some concerns about the passable condition that the roads are in. The first couple of days, the roads appear to be passable. They have agreed to come by every Friday to check on the condition of the road to make sure they remain in the state where they're at least passable. They will not complete resurfacing until the project is done closer to the end of the year. Next year, this year, end of this year it should be done. Also working with the land bank to ask them for their assistance in being more responsive as it pertains to the remnant and or tires and debris that are left behind due to some demolition. So it's my understanding that they are working closer with the city to establish a partnership where the land bank may be asking our service department to gather those tires until there's a disposition provided. So I guess the administration talk more about that. But we continue to work with the railroads and the RTA to see if those guys can come out here, get the underpass and overpasses maintained before the overgrowth gets out of control. Thank you, Madam President. That is all I have for General Services.
Thank you. Councilman Martin, health and safety.
Yes, health and safety. Good evening, everyone. We're honored today to have a former fire chief here, Rick Wilcox. Want to stand up for a second, Rick? Go ahead. Give him a round of applause. All right. We also have a fire chief, Mike Salika. We have some pending legislation that the council will deal with. And I'm going to have Mike Salika say a little bit, but basically what's recently happened is we're losing a lot of our firefighters to different municipalities because they can pay more. So we're down to 5, and we may lose another 5 before the year is out. And Mike Salika will talk about that. So that's one of the issues we deal with fire and police, is that because we can't pay them adequately like what they deserve, they get good training here and they go to different other municipalities that can pay more. That's basically, and then our next meeting of the Health and Safety Committee will be May 14th here at 5:30. And one of the things I wanted to have on there to share with everyone is I'm working closely with the mayor, with the other council people, to see if we can get this $320,000 special purpose grant, acting on that. You know, we've been back and forth with it for years. And you guys stepped up a year or two, but we kind of we didn't get it done. But the money's there. So the meeting on May 14th, that's going to be one of the things that have to be discussed. So I'm preparing everybody in advance, Mayor, so we can see if we can finally get that money spent. And I appreciate your cooperation on that. Okay. Madam Chairman, that concludes health and safety. Thank you.
Councilman Gadsden? Councilwoman Gadsden.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. At our last personnel and appointments meeting, I believe that was April 26th, we did not have a quorum. So our next personnel and appointments meeting will be held on Tuesday, May 28th at 6:30 p.m.
Hey.
Oh, I'm sorry. So the last personnel and appointments meeting was held on April 26th. We did not have a quorum. So we did not have an official meeting. The next personnel and appointments meeting will be on Tuesday, May 28th here in City Hall at 6:30. And that concludes my report.
As Chair, Contracts and Property, our next meeting will be this Thursday, May 9th at 6:30 p.m. Councilman Smith?
Thank you, Madam President. I chair the Finance Committee. Next Finance Committee meeting will be May 14th, right here at 6:30 p.m. On May 2nd, 2019 at noon, the Financial Planning and Supervision Commission met at the East Cleveland Library. We talked about our reimbursable grant, including our COPS quarterly grant. The city has received its first quarter reimbursement in April for our COPS grant. That include grants for a few police officers and school resource officers. The city has come to an agreement with Kaiser Now Health Span to settle an outstanding payable. That was about $222,000. The city also paid a $150,000 lawsuit in February. Currently, the Service Department and Central Services have gone over the expenditures appropriated due to trees getting cut and trees getting trimmed at Forest Hill Park and other areas in the city. But the total is inside of the total amount of the number allocated. We are within our estimated resources. At the end of the year, certain allocations will be reappropriated out of the general fund, and we will reconcile all department differences again at the end of the year. The city also has other pending lawsuits. At the commission meeting, as I stated at our last committee meeting, I would like to state tonight, our mayor fought very hard for a piece of John Deere equipment that will help with the high grass areas around the city. When I mean fault, I mean fault. they were trying to, they weren't gonna allow us to even, it seemed like they didn't even wanna talk about it yet. But, the mayor negotiated and kept negotiating. So we should be getting our John Deere, piece of equipment, which does take about 3 months for it to be put together and start being put into use. As stated before, the Martin Luther King Civic Center situation is down in Columbus, and we just waiting on to go from them. Also, we discussed what we'll be talking about tonight, a grant opportunity from the Northeastern Ohio Regional Sewer District. The council has to pass legislation to accept the grant, then the council has to pass legislation after the grant is awarded. We'll be talking about these situations in further detail at our next Finance Committee meeting, which is again May 14th, 6:30 p.m. As I say each and every week, these committee meetings are very, very important, just as important as the regular Tuesday's council meetings. Thank you all, our great residents, my colleagues. Thank you, Madam President. That concludes my finance report.
Thank you. The next agenda review meeting is Thursday, May 16th at 6:30 p.m. And for those that may not know, an agenda review is the meeting that we had prior to that Tuesday to go over the agenda for the regular council meeting that's on that Tuesday. So the agenda review is Thursday, May 16th, following up with the regular council meeting Thursday, May 21st at 6:30 p.m. Next, we have proclamations, which there are none.
We have, just wanted to, acknowledge, the passing of Councilman Martin's brother. So we do have a card from council and the mayor.
Our condolences, yes.
I wanted to acknowledge the passing of Ray Allen. He worked in the service department. He passed last Friday. So I just wanted to wish his family our deepest and sincerest wishes.
Thank you for that. And next we have legislation, resolution number 0319.
The resolution number 0319 is a second read. A resolution to authorize the mayor to enter into a stormwater project agreement of the Northeast Ohio Regional Sewer District and the City of East Cleveland for the Forest Hill Park Dam number 2, requested by Mayor Brandon L. King and sponsored by Timothy I. Austin, Council at Large.
Councilman Austin is your name.
I would like to sponsor resolution 0319 and move for its adoption.
Can I get a second?
I second it.
Any discussion?
This is an opportunity for the city to have a safe and healthy water system in our parks. It costs the city $0. The Northeast Ohio Regional Sewer District is sponsoring, overseeing the project, and we'll make sure that at the end of the day, everything is taken care of, and the city will continue to provide safe passage and viewing and enjoying the area around the dam.
And I can't recall the actual amount. Do we know those numbers?
We do. I'm sorry. So we do know the numbers. I don't know them off
It's a
my.
considerable amount.
It is a considerable amount of money, and the sewer district is picking up the tab. We met with Senator Ken Yuko and State Rep Kent Smith, who promised to be a backstop if it went over, but it hasn't.
I had to read them all the notes.
Well, would it be too late for Councilman Gaddis and the co-sponsor? I believe so.
And it's up to council.
It's
I was
all
going to change it, before it goes into the mayor.
Thursday's my holiday.
I wanted to ask while we're on this, I'm looking at section 1, is the amount $150,000?
I saw that, yeah.
Yeah. Public is $150,000. I'm alright for her to co-sponsor.
Councilor Austin?
Yay.
Councilor Martin?
Yay.
Councilor Gaddison?
Yay.
Councilor Smith?
Yeah.
Councilor Graham?
Yay.
Okay, resolution number 0319 is approved with the, addition of Council Jay Gaddis and co-sponsoring.
Okay, thank you. Ordinance number 2419 as emergency.
Ordinance number 2419, emergency and ordinance to amend section 123.03A of the codified ordinances of the city of East Cleveland in relevant part in order to draw a sufficient pool of qualified firefighters to adequately serve the residents and declaring an emergency for the public health, welfare, and safety. And this is requested by the Fire Chief Fariga and sponsored by Joy and Council President, Council Jay Gaddison, and Councilor Nadine Martin.
Ordinance number 24-19 bears the name of President Joy Ann Graham. What is your pleasure? Oh, bears the name of also Councilwoman Gaddison and Councilman Martin. What is your pleasure?
Yes, I like to sponsor ordinance 2419 and move for its adoption.
Second.
Okay, I like to, I said a little bit about it earlier, but Mike Salika, our fire chief, is here, so I'd like him to come up and say something about this, please. Is it okay with the body? Mike, thanks for being here this evening.
Thank you for having me.
Okay.
As you stated earlier, we have a problem with high turnover rate. This is not anything new to us. Unfortunately, we're in a situation right now where we are currently employing approximately 18 employees on a federal grant. We are currently non-compliant with that grant because we are short candidates to hire. The whole process of testing takes us approximately 6 to 9 months. By putting this into, by accepting this change, we would be able to accept eligible candidates with the education that we require. They turn in an application, we put them through an interview. If they pass their physicals and everything like that, we can bring them on and therefore shorten our testing process, if you will, down to about a month. With the high turnover rate, we can't afford to give a test every year is how we're doing it now. The last test that we gave was back in October. We had 32 people take it. Out of those 32 people, I hired 10 that were eligible, and the rest of the people either turned it down, were going other places, or didn't have all their certifications. So the list is expired for all intents and purposes.
So once you give the test and anticipating we're going to lose some more near the end of the year, what is your strategy to give the test to maybe 10 or 15 million people and they pass, and you be able to have that pool to reach?
I did talk this over with Human Resources and Civil Service, and we do plan on testing by the end of the year, given a written exam. However, in the meantime, we need to do this with by application only. You recognize my colleague back there who has already told me that he plans on taking a couple of my guys. So you guys can jump him on the way
we're going to get it. We'll get you, Wilcox.
And that's just the fact of the matter. I have, there's 2 or 3 guys that are in Garfield. I got another guy going to Columbus at the end of the month. There's a couple guys in Maple Heights, a couple guys in Warrensville. They're all over Northeast Ohio, and it's going to continue to be like this until we can, unfortunately, get our pay up. But we all know what we need to do that. So
now, legally, are we supposed to have so many firefighters per shift? Or how do you guys do that?
Per contract, we are required to have 10 firefighters per shift.
Mm-hmm.
As of right now, we're hovering right in that area. Some days we're running with 12. Some days we're running a little light. The whole purpose is to just get as many people here as we possibly can, so that we can continue to provide not only the basic services that we're providing now, but to expand out into community paramedicine, which will help our frequent callers and the elderly a little bit more. But we're trying to expand all of our programs to be more advanced, if you will.
Any questions? Anyone else? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Counselor Austin,
Yay.
Counselor Martin,
Yay.
Counselor Gaddison,
Yay.
Counselor Smith,
Yay.
Counselor Graham.
Yay.
Okay, ordinance number 24-19 is passed. Okay, the last one is resolution number 08-19, an emergency. A resolution authorizing and directing the mayor to do all things necessary to participate in the Northeast Ohio Regional Sewer District programs for Wheeler Avenue Storm Sanitary Sewer System Reconstruction Project, including but not limited to executing any and all applications, agreements, and/or contracts as may be required by the Northeast Ohio Regional Sewer District in order to secure the grant funds in the amount of approximately $555,000. $555,000 requested per the application as prepared by the city representatives, OHM advisors, and declaring an emergency for the public health, safety, and welfare. Requested by Mayor Brandon L. King, sponsored by Timothy R. Austin, Councilor at Large, Ernest L. Smith, Council Vice President, and Nathaniel Martin, Councilor at Large.
So Councilman Austin, Councilman Smith, and Councilman Martin, there's all three of your names, with pleasure.
Madam President, I would like to sponsor resolution 0819 and move for its adoption.
I second that motion.
Any discussion?
Yes, ma'am. This is indeed another phenomenal opportunity. The mayor has asked OHM, our engineering firm, on retainer to assist us in seeking the resource to make our community better. And through their research, they found this grant where we have no part in. At this point, we don't have to have a match for this grant, and having the city have this opportunity is another example of efforts that work in concert when we have the same goal and like mind, and moving the city forward is exactly what this grant will allow us to do. At no cost to the residents, benefiting us, and I'm very happy that somebody outside of our footprint decided to help us in this way. That's all I have, Madam President.
I'm going to read specifically from the resolution, just some things for the residents to consider. This is specifically Wheeler Avenue, if you're not familiar with that. It's over by the plaza in Superior, in between Superior and Eddy Road, where the storm sewer lines are undersized and have deteriorated to a point that it's been potentially causing flooding for the residents and basements in that area. So they'll be repaired and replaced. And I believe it'll be paid, correct? Repaid all the way. Just to let you know that's what this is for. Okay.
And just one question, and thank you. Mayor, when do you anticipate for the public, I know you can't give a definite, when do you anticipate that the work they're doing down there at Euclid and Superior that's got everything blocked up, when you think you'll be finished by that?
That's a great question.
Okay.
So they're telling me now mid-July. Of course, as these things go, this is the second or third date that they've given. When they get in there and they find other things that need to be fixed and or addressed while the street is open, they do so. But as of today, mid-July is the date that we have to work with.
And I also like to point out, I think that we haven't looked at the infrastructure since when?
We're 100 years old, so it has not been addressed since I've been an elected official. But keep in mind, 2 years ago, we asked the sewer district to push this up. We are working with Cleveland Water to address 2 or 3 areas of concern on Euclid. And OHM uncovered this ahead of repaving Euclid in 2021. So.
Excellent.
Did we take the vote?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
And I hope they didn't miss what the mayor said, because it's important. This work is being done now Ohio Department of Transportation is gonna pave all of Euclid, right, Mayor? In 2020.
Yes.
So it's the perfect time to get all that done, so you don't have to keep going out there to do that. So timing is everything.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay.
Councilor Austin.
Yay!
Councilor Martin.
Yay!
Councilor Jackson.
Yeah.
Councilor Smith.
Yay.
And Councilor Graham.
Yay.
Okay, resolution 08-19 passed.
All right, thank you, council. Remarks and requests of the public, 3 minutes.
I ain't trying to be negative, but I want to ask y'all all a question, right? Y'all, the right laws and stuff that's going on in the city, right?
We can.
A lot of businesses have been talking to me about things that's going on in the community, right? Y'all need to start, man, going having a meeting with some of these business owners and start seeing their concerns and what's going on before they decide to leave our city.
Good evening. Mr. Mayor, council. Mr. Mayor, I really appreciate what you are doing, the work that I see going on the streets. But I'm
Excuse me,
wondering.
ma'am. I'm sorry, not sure if you had your time.
Oh.
Can you just state your name and address for the
Oh,
record?
that's my name is Sarah Haynes, and I live on 134 East Cleveland.
Thank you.
My concern is, we talking about trying to bring East Cleveland back. But until the people in the neighborhood start doing something, East Cleveland will never come back. I know it takes a lot of money to do streets. And I know only so much money be provided for streets. And when you got 300 streets in East Cleveland need to be fixed, it will take a long time or never. And I would like for you, the council, to tell us how we can do something for the city, to help the city. We talk about bringing it back, but until the homeowners start doing something, it won't come back. And I think if we had a inspector in East Cleveland, it would help a lot. Because really, they could pay for themselves. They would make their own money. When you go and see all these backyards, trash, dogs walking around, nobody picking up behind them. So it's a lot of things that if we start doing, then we can do a lot ourselves, because I know East Cleveland don't have no money. Yeah. But a lot of things could be done in East Cleveland if we would get to come in together. We talk about cutting grass. Cutting grass is all right, but we need to be planting vegetables and things in East Cleveland. We could plant enough vegetables in East Cleveland to sell to stores and things, We talking about we want a new store to come in here. Well, if we had vegetables and things, we could make money selling to that store. See, we got a lot of land that could be used for gardens other than grass. People come up and talk about the grass not being cut near, but then you all should tell us how we can start planting vegetables on these lots. And that would help be a big beneficial to the city, Yeah. So I just wanted to say that it was on my mind, and you all know how I am. I have to say what's on my mind.
Thank you.
God bless you. God bless you, Sister Haynes.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. My name is Shirley Hatcher, and I live at 13408 Shaw Avenue. I just want to say thank you for everybody that's working hard together to make a difference. I'm part of neighborhood number 2, and we're doing a lot of work in our neighborhood. It's all about getting out there doing the footwork, getting to know your neighbors, and the village has to come back. That's my motto, is the village. My concern is that there seems to be a popular store that's getting ready to leave the city. So Walmart's and Walgreens, I'm sorry, that's going to be leaving. They already know the pizza place on Euclid there. That's closed. Are we getting any businesses? If one's going to leave, we don't want anything to leave. We don't even want the post office to leave. We're going to work on that too. But I'm concerned about the businesses that are leaving here. And are there any that you guys haven't put out to let us know? Are there any future businesses coming here? Only one I can think of just recent looks like B&M. The barbecue place is there on Hayden Avenue. So it's my concerns about revenue leaving here. And the revenue that we do have, I hope that you guys are working with the codes to enforce the permits, the license, to have everybody in compliance. If I have to pay my taxes and do what I need to do, then you need to be on these businesses. Neighborhood number 2, we are approaching businesses because we want curb repair. We don't want to see trash. We don't want to see all this stuff outside. I don't want to walk into the building and see that all messed up. The day is coming that we have about 18 neighborhoods, and we're only in our 2nd year. So you keep working with us because we're working with you. We're all in this plan together. So if there's any information, you guys are, let us know. We're trying to come back, right, to these council meetings, these agenda meetings, because we need to know what's going on. But in the meantime, know what we're doing. We're making a difference. And keep up the good work, and God bless everyone.
Amen.
Hello,
Hello.
Mayor, Council. My name is Carolyn Green. My name is Carolyn Green. My apartment is situated at 133 East 125th. I am bordering Cleveland and East Cleveland. The neighboring street is Eberron. The reason that my mom bought this property back in 1997. And I've been blessed to hold on to it and keep it in the family. But with that in mind, the problem is the eyesore we have here. If you want to hold that up. This is the eyesore in front of our building that is making it hard. The trash is everywhere. As you see, it's terrible. This is East Cleveland. This is Eberron. You want to pass those. And there's a lot of dumping, a lot of rodents, a lot of the groundhogs, as you were speaking about. Yeah, going up, up East Cleveland, up towards Howe. Under the bridge. Now, next to my building is this house where the gentleman just put up a fence, doing a lovely job trying to, improve the neighborhood.
Yes.
He's doing a wonderful a wonderful job. Here's my building that I maintain, my twin and I, that's my twin Marilyn, and we're maintaining this building. It's called Ruby's Place, and I decided to make it a veteran home because my family I'm from a family of veterans, so I figured I'd just reach out to the veterans. So far, so good, but I'm fighting with that eyesore. And how? In Eberron. The tires, rent is hard because people see it as that building is not safe, and so it's making it hard for us to rent. So that's why we're here. We're doing our job to try to improve, clean up our area, but we need that eyesore taken away.
On Howard.
Howard. So it's 1338 East 125th,
Yes.
but it's right there. I know where you're at.
Everon, Howard.
Howard.
But we have some wonderful homeowners over there also. So, anything you want to add, Ms. Dawn? Well,
Just that it's Howard.
That Howard.
Okay.
And what can we do to get that cleaned
So,
up?
yes.
We will address you after all of
Okay.
That's
Here's some beautiful housing right here. You know, what's surrounding us is much the problem.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Justin Anderson, 14436 Terrace Road. I want to ask you about the grass situation. Will we be putting that out for bids this year? And the next thing is regarding the trees. We cut down trees, which is good. We need to get rid of these dead trees, but we also need to come up with some strategic plan to start planting trees, because you can't just cut down these trees and you just keep cutting them down. We have to plant because it's bad for the environment if we don't try to replace most of these trees that we're cutting down. I don't know if you all know how important that is, but it's extremely important, planting trees. And I know that the state has some funding, grants and stuff, where you can get a grant to replant trees. And Nate, you went down Howard over, so it's horrible. That street we went down last summer. So hopefully we could get that taken care of to for that.
Thank you.
Hi, council. How y'all doing? Mayor.
Juanita
Gowdy, 1857 Ronsland, East Cleveland. The groundhog is really getting real. It's summertime, and I still get phone calls. And even though we have the neighborhood connection, we need to talk to the person that hired the man to do the groundhog administration also. So I'm asking the mayor, when is he going to get to Rosalind and Cayenne Street? Yeah, Carlin. And it's another street over there off of Hayden. It's called Street 1, Street 2. First Street, second Street, Street 1, Street 2. Yeah, and I'm just have concern still about the lights on Rosalind. When do you plan on getting light bulbs? And when is you plan on getting the poles? And that's my concern for the next. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, response of council and mayor to remarks of the public, 5 minutes. Mayor King.
Thank you, Council President. I'd like to thank you all for coming out. Not to single anyone out, but I'd really like to thank the ladies from Ward 3 for coming out tonight and talking up what it is you're doing to make your neighborhood better, to bring back that village mentality, that village feel. Growing up in the city, I can tell you how it felt like it was a village. People cared about people, they cared about their community, and they got out and picked up paper. Ohio State Extension is the reason a lot of the gardens came in a number of years ago. I'm not sure if they're still sponsoring the gardens, but if you would like to call my office, we can get you the information and the contact over at the OSU Extension for that regard. As you all know, businesses are businesses, and we can't actually control opening and closing a business. We all remember what happened with Heron Road Hospital. As unfortunate as it was, it is still a business. Walgreens, from my understanding, is shrinking its footprint and going to a drive-through, not leaving the city per se.
Just pharmacy kind of drive-through.
Yeah, just a pharmacy drive-through, and they may do some retail. And I hate to put this out there, but what I've been told through the grapevine, and you know about the grapevine, is that they're actually looking at the bank to buy and convert the bank. So I have yet to speak with someone over there to get a better understanding of what they're doing. KeyBank, yes. Happy to say that B&M is not actually B&M. It just says that on the truck. So the individual who's buying that is actually a classmate of mine from Shaw. Met with him today. He's buying the building in a contract with the owner to turn the store into a restaurant, East Cleveland Eats. So we'll be in East Cleveland restaurant. He is a native here, graduated from Shaw. Great dude, great family. Deion Williams, I believe a lot of people here know him. Excellent family. He actually opened up kind of prematurely. So we did ask him to slow down until he got all of the proper paperwork in order to open up. Same thing happened with the grocery store in the Forest Hill Shopping Center. It was sold recently, and they were operating without their proper paperwork. In that situation, we didn't actually shut them down. We just kind of rushed them through the process because of the need for the grocery store, and they were already a business that was in business. It was a little trickier asking them to cease and desist. So that's the story with that.
Let's be the B&M first if I could. Where is that located at?
So it's at Claiborne and Hayden. I believe it was
ABC Learning.
ABC Learning. Before that was churches. A lot of people.
Oh, the check cashing place. I'm sorry.
The church is ticking down there. So he said he's under contract to buy it, and by the end of summer, he plans on having it open. It's mostly a carry out. We have 1 or 2 tables, but basically a carry out. And people are excited to get some barbecue back down on Hayden. Most of you remember there were a couple barbecue places down on Hayden, so that's a great thing. What can we do? Continue to work in our neighborhood groups, meet your neighbors. Adopt a Block was a program people did years ago. And I'd love for residents to do that. We had one successful group a number of weeks ago, cleaned up a significant amount, and we sent the service crew over. They picked up tires, couches, mattresses, desks that they had taken from back behind buildings and in fields. And they did it all. Great community effort. And that's what the whole East Cleveland Clean is about. And if you do it, please call my office. We'll come pick this stuff up that you pulled to the curb. In regards to HOW, so I don't know who's all been over there. I have went over there and I was shaken up.
Yeah. I've been over there too.
Go ahead and finish your thought.
So,
I want the residents
just
to
wanted
hear
to finish the thought on HOW. So, if anyone's been over in the last, I'd say, 4 or 5 days, I had the barricade put back up with do not enter sign for that stretch. There's literally one house on the top of HOW, and then there's nothing till you get all the way over to another street, right? Elberon. So it has taken, and those who've been around know that there was a complete house dumped over there years ago. It's another street that we have had significant problems. So we put up the barricades. Please do not drive up that street. My words to the police. Anyone driving through the barricades, pull them over, play 20 questions, run their license. There's so much dumping over there that we're not sure how we're going to address that area, right? But closing it off then helps. My lady. From an investment standpoint, you're an investor, you're looking to make money on the city, beautiful. We love it, right? Take the onus, the responsibility. You see something needs doing to secure your investment, call my office, we will help you do it, right? It's no problem. We've had a number of investors around the city call, hey, we want to board up this building. I send the service people over there. They board up the building. They spend their money to do it, right? Now, I know that's asking something, but secure your investment from a business perspective. You want to do that. We will help you, okay? Don't hesitate to call my office, and we'll talk further about that. I don't want to take up any more of your time. So is there any more questions or concerns of me? Other than that, that's it.
Thank you. Councilman Austin.
Thank you, Madam President. I want to start doing more saying thank you. You know, thank you for the things that you start to do for yourself. And I thank the young lady that came before us today to say that we work in our neighborhood. We want to tell you what we're doing. And I think that leadership does a lot. And oftentimes it's not by what you say or how authoritarian you can be, it's how you lead by example. And if your example today with that nice jacket on your shirt was to come here and say that we're doing it, and we're not asking you for your assistance, we're going to tell you what we're doing to help ourselves. And I appreciate hearing that. And it said again, asking the residents, you know, what we can do as a resident. What can I do to help the situation? If you start at home doing a little bit on your own block and push it as far forward as you can, that's what you can do. Clean up around your house, on your block, keeping your street clean, keeping the things that are supposed to be moving in a certain direction, moving in that direction. If you have water in your block and it's not due to a contour issue, clean that catch basin. Do that. Get a couple of trash bags and go do that. Again, I do appreciate what you've done to this point. Businesses in the city, they need your help. Oftentimes, it's just a matter of asking the young folks, don't throw your trash out there in the McDonald's parking lot. Pick that up. And I do it all the time. And they look at me like I'm crazy at first. Then they go pick it up. So the businesses not only need to have somebody to clean up for us, but we can be the catalyst of not having them have a reason every day to clean up so much stuff. Not so much and keeping graffiti down and doing things to make our neighborhood look like we want it to look and represent us as a community. The Veterans Home, I commend you for doing that. And like the mayor said, I want to echo his sentiments about protecting your investment by getting out there with the trash bags and you know, contacting him is a good thing because I believe that he has some resources that have not been tapped. You know, with some of the lawn equipment that he has and his vigor to get out there and help you do some of the work also. Planting trees is definitely important. Justin Anderson, thank you very much for that note. Being reminded there are funding, it is funding out there, and that is a need to replace what we have the opportunity to displace, if you will. Continue to let the administration know if you have a need for ground hall support, let them know and they'll continue to get you on that list. And again, you know, they can't be everywhere all the time. So best case scenario, we'll hopefully get to your block eventually.
Excuse me, I've been calling that number and it's constantly busy.
We're gonna let the mayor know that there's a gap in the line somewhere. And I'm sure he can redirect the persons that he's paying to do this work for us. So
because I have a groundhog has built a nest under my back porch.
That bell gonna ring, and I'm gonna be happy that I made it under the time.
Yeah, that's point of order. Yeah, that's
yes. Again, I just want to say thank you for the great things and the minor things that you do to take care of the business of the city every day. I'm not talking about running the city. I'm talking about making sure the city is represent what we would like it to represent as citizens. And I do appreciate it. Madam President, that's all I have.
Thank you, Councilman Martin.
I rise to speak very briefly. Representation matters. Again, representation matters. Everybody up here represents the city. Representation matters, but it's not enough. We're nothing without you. Sarah Haynes, Shirley Hatcher, thank you for what you guys are doing, stepping up. While you were saying, I was thinking about men in our neighborhood need to step up more. The women step up, but the men are not stepping up like they should. Some of them do. But we've got to do that. Over the last 25 years, our tax base has been diminished. When we tear down houses, it's vacant. We're not getting any revenue from that. The paradox in the situation is we're in a great location. I was down in University Circle today, Joey Graham, and there's women down there. They're doing all kinds of things in Case. You got Cleveland Clinic, you got the museum, all of that. Going east where we are, that's where the land is. I sometimes feel kind of concerned that our situation is kind of by design set up for them to come and take this over. That's why we got to do our part. That's why what Brandon does and what we do is very important. But it's about the people. It's about the people stepping up. You were here, Ms. Haynes and Shirley, when this was a great place to be. We had the greatest school system, one of the best school systems in the country. But there's hope. And I think we read the Bible and it tells us about hope. We've got a young man that's come here that I think Ernest, Shay, Tim, Brandon is going to be dynamite in terms of our kids getting a great education, because no one is going to move in here if the kids don't get a good education. We talk about the grandkids, but that's key. So he's been reaching out to everyone. I want to announce to you that he'll be coming to our meeting, the Democratic Club, May 16th at Steffi Tubb Jones Health Center from 5:30 to 8. We asked him to come out and share his plan. He has his plan on the website, but he's getting out there. That's another key component to turning the city around. We don't have a lot of time. If you heard of the term gentrification, that's when they come in, they build, but they price you out. You're doing all over the country. Harlem, when I was there young, when I was in college, I went up there and it was predominantly black. But it ain't that way no more. So we only have so much time to turn this around. That's why I commend this group here, because we are working together, because we don't have that much time. And they have the money and they have the resources. We've lost our tax base. We've lost about $2 million to the local government fund that the state took. That's why they have a $3 billion rainy day fund. So we got some things to do. Keep us in prayer. I also like to share that my brother died a few days ago, and the service will be this Friday at Watson from 9:30 to 12, and the repast will be at 12:30 or 1 o'clock at Snickerfritz at Roslyn and Euclid. I lost my younger brother about a year ago, and now my older brother died, so I got one more brother, just two of us left now. So keep us in prayer. But I just wanted to let you know that we're not perfect, but we're trying, and that we appreciate you. God be with you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Councilwoman Cass.
Thank you. I wanted to again thank everyone for coming out and giving us your feedback. We need it in order to make East Cleveland better. I wanted to ask Mr. Anderson if he knew the name of the grant, so that way I could research it. Okay. You have my email address, don't you? Just email it to me. I wanted to respond to Ms. Gowdy's comment about the groundhogs. I believe we spoke about this last week at Agenda Review. Again, just to reiterate the information to the residents who are here today. Groundhogs, the people, or at least the neighborhoods in Millionaires Row, were given directives in order to get their groundhog situation taken care of. Those people who submitted their names and addresses no longer have groundhogs. The residents that you spoke of on Carlin and first and second, Carlin, if you could submit those names so that way I can look into that and make sure that they have their groundhog situation resolved as well. I asked you to email me the names of the residents you spoke of last week to me, so that way I could fly it up the pole to the administration. Again, I've not received an email. And then lastly, I wanted to respond to the Howard situation. So when the pictures were being passed around, I'm sure some of you may have noticed that I did not need to look at the pictures, because I have literally walked up and down Howard several times. I live right around the corner from Howard. I was literally just speaking to the mayor about Howard before we walked in here for council. What I propose is having a cleanup event specifically for Howard. He and I are going to be doing some more talking about that, so we can get details nailed down. And once we do that, well, then I will be happy. Ms. Hatcher, I know you'll be right there with your gloves and garbage bags, so I'm excited about that. But I did want to say my biggest concern about Howard at this point are the open and vacant buildings. Again, the mayor and I are working together to get those secure. So I don't want the residents to leave here feeling like Howard is an issue that has not been addressed before, that I have not spoken about before. There are a myriad of problems with Howard. It is much more complicated than just going out and cutting grass, simply because, as the mayor stated, there has been substantial dumping on Howard for years and years and years, long before I sat on council. So we are going to basically have to remove probably 20 years worth of debris before anyone will see any drastic changes in the aesthetic of the street. So to date, that is where we are with that. We have been in constant communication about Howard. And so what we're trying to do right now is to figure out a way where we can have a clean out, but not endanger the residents and the volunteers who go into those fields to clean it out. Because honestly, I've walked the street, I live right around the corner from Howard, and I'm not walking in the fields without a steel-toed body armor, because there's no telling what you'll find in the streets. I have had complaints, and for the record, and I'm sure my time is almost over, but I wanted to make sure I communicate this to the resident. For the record, there are residents who live at the top of Howard. There are residents who live at the bottom of Howard. I've spoke to Frank and Kelly Bright about you already, Ms. Green, so I'm well aware of your complaint. So I don't want you to think that, I've not been paying attention to what's going on. But there's also a resident in the middle of Howard. So it's kind of like a desert or like a dry, vacant area, but there are residents sprinkled throughout. And so I am working to get that resolved. I am definitely working to get, so I understand, your building is right down the corner of El Paran. And so you have that garbage, and I know that a lot of the dumpers come up 124th, 125th, and they will dump their garbage at the bottom of Howard or, near your apartment building on El Paran. So it's kind of all tied to the same thing. So when we address Howard, we are going to actually address the whole area as well as Delmont. So it is on my radar. And I will be in contact with you, Ms. Green. And that concludes my remarks and responses to the public. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you to my colleagues, Mr. Mayor, Madam Law Director, our great clerk, special guests, and as I say each and every week, each and every day, thank you to my neighbors, our great residents of the great city of East Cleveland. You could have been anywhere else, but you chose to come to this very important meeting to tell us your concerns, make sure we hear you all concerns, and also get updated on what's going on within the city. So I just have a few brief notes I'll go over real quick. Everyone knows that Chapman in Ward 3 is real near and dear to my heart as far as the dumping over there. I reside around the corner from Chapman. Everyone who feels the pain of the dumping on Chapman, I feel that pain. Chapman was clean last week. A great service department, great organizations council members came out, well, council, yeah. But Chapman is clean now. Just rolled down Chapman. I thought I was gonna come here with a big smile on my face, Mr. Mayor, but I have to tell you that, yeah. And I just told the service supervisor yesterday that it was still clean because Director Marshall has been calling me every day for an update report. And no sooner I told him it was clean, it was still clean. It's a couch over there now. So couch over there. As well as we cleaned up Manhattan. I thought I was gonna come here with a smile on my face about Manhattan. Well, actually I do have a half a smile. So Manhattan has been staying clean. Dumpers came back, but I talked to you after the meeting because this one we have a description. And I know how they do it so quick. They have the furniture hanging halfway off the truck. And when they get to the location, they speed up. And the couch and the mattress fell off the truck. I talked to you about that after a while. And I told you, we're gonna get you. A resident, one of our great residents came in 2 weeks ago and talked about Northfield. I live on the next street from Northfield. I said this at our committee meeting with only a few residents here, and I said I was going to repeat this today. The bottom half of Northfield and by Northfield and Hayden, it does look terrible. Another thing I can talk to the mayor about, I have an address on that. That is one of our own over there dumping, and I have that information. So just so together, working together, we're going to stop that. Updated demos in Ward 3. Demolition of dilapidated vacant properties continue on East Ham. Belmar building has been demolished on Belmar. If you all might or might not remember, Belmar up there by 3 of our senior buildings, they were dumping, and we had to board up the entranceway of the building, and there was continual drug dealers were over there, and just a whole bunch of nonsense over there. That building is gone. Tires, I've been getting a lot of calls about tires. I'll be talking to the administration about that. The light on 3rd has been fixed. As I stated the other day, I don't know how they did it because they cut the cord, but the cord, the light is, maybe that's one of them new lights or something, I don't know. But I thank them because the lights on 3rd is on. And lastly, but definitely not least, our great neighbor said, how can the people help East Cleveland? As I look around this room, I can truly say, you all are an example of how to help East Cleveland, how to get involved. And I'm a young guy, so in my mind, it's a few legends in this room. I remember when I first got on council, and for example, I got a call from Ms. Hubbard, and I begged Ms. Hubbard on the 135th, and I begged Ms. Hubbard to reform the block clubs. And Ms. Hubbard said, and a lot of residents said no. They said they were not getting any help from the officials, and I said it's a new mayor and it's new council members. Please, I begged them, please. And the next day, they invited the mayor and I over there to have dinner, and we talked about reforming the block club. Then Ms. Haynes invited me into her house. I talked to Ms. Hatcher, and begged them, please restart your block clubs. And the mayor had organized with the block clubs, because when I first got on council, I had a plan to organize the block clubs and then go after anyone who doesn't serve our health, interest, rights, and needs. But the great thing is that the mayor and the people have organized to get your health, interest, rights, and needs served. So now, when you say we need our trees down, we know that it's a whole group of residents that want their trees down. And make no mistake about it, as I stated before, you do not have to join a neighborhood group to get your health interests, rights, and needs served. It was not a neighborhood group that got Chapman clean. But it was a plenty neighborhood group that got plenty of work that has been accomplished around here. For example, it was a neighborhood group that came in complaining about Marlowe's and Euclid and the way that the construction people are leaving our streets. And it was a solo people. One of them are in this room. So the phone calls have been made to those people, and that's why the streets are passable now. So please keep in mind, it's not what East Cleveland can do for you. It's what you can do for the people. And believe me, you all are doing a fabulous job. I just want to my last announcement. I have my third annual Mother's Day appreciation brunch. For the first 2 years we had it at the Civic Center and the Salvation Army. I come to learn that a lot of my elders in the Mildred Brewer Place and the Forest Hill Terrace apartments, they couldn't make it. So at the past 2 years, so all are invited. This year, we're going to have 2 Mother's Day events on the 11th at the Mildred Brewer Place and on the 12th at the Forest Terrace apartments. This is an open event for everyone. Please feel free to come, have a good time, meet your neighbors, bring your parents, bring your children. If you don't have a flyer, I'll be happy to give you one. That concludes my report. Madam President, thank you. Thank you to my great neighbors once again. Thank you for allowing me to go my 5-year time.
All right, I want to thank everyone for coming out. I'm going to ask for the mayor if we could possibly get a groundhog and leaf back schedule. If there isn't one already created, can we work in tandem with all the wards and the council members so we can create that? As far as residents submitting their names or what have you for the groundhog, I was wondering if maybe we can possibly do something neighborhood by neighborhood for the groundhog, or as far as the leaf back. A lot of people don't know when it's operating and when it's not. I would ask any of the residents, and I want to shout out Ms. Melodia Price, neighborhood group leader. What neighborhood is it? 8, Ward 4. So I'm asking any neighborhood groups, you can help counsel, if you can submit a schedule to Dr. Guy, so that any of us, regardless what ward, that we can attend your meetings if we're able to. Because a lot of times if I'm not able to do something, I can call in Austin, or I can call on Councilman Smith and say, can you do this or that and the other, so we can work in tandem and let everyone know. Ms. Green, 1338, 2025. Well, I'm part of an organization, Voice of My People, Save Our Sons. When we come out and clean, now we can't do like a lot of the heavy moving, but we can definitely come out and clean up the trash and try and help you out. So
All the tires.
yeah, we'll try and do something, because every Sunday we clean, and just let anyone know if you would like to volunteer with us. We're on Facebook, but we clean pretty much every Sunday with a lot of the youth, kids that go to Caledonia and the neighbor elementary schools. So usually it is called Voice of My People, SOS Save Our Sons, but we'll clean probably anywhere from 11 to 4. We won't clean the whole time. We'll like barbecue for the kids or what have you. Mr. Anderson, I think that was a great idea as far as planting trees. I'm looking for that, because that's something that you think you bring the youth together so they can learn how to plant their own foods as well. And Mayor King, I'd like to see if we can address the question, did the bids go out for grass setting, or are they going out, or what's the deal with that? So if you can let council know so we can inform the residents. And I'd like to relinquish the rest of my time to a group that I've been following on Facebook, the part of East Cleveland, the Little African Food Co-op. I've never met any individual from that, and I see that you're here. Yeah, I did meet you. I apologize. I'd just like you to speak to the residents and let you know what you're doing. I mean, we need to know what's going on in the community, and we need to know who's participating in what. So if someone like to take the rest of my time. Yeah, the rest of my time.
Thank you.
2.5 minutes, go ahead.
Thank you. Hello, Council. My name is Ms. Mickey Smith. I'm the Vice President, and this is Angela Sales. This is our Treasurer, and Tila, I do as I found her. And Little Africa Food Co-op is here for the people. When the people say what it is that we can do for you, we want to teach you cooperative economics. What we want to do is we want to make sure that your legacy is here to stay. the things in which you need for your grandchildren and stuff like that. The healthy food, that's what we want to do. And we want to make sure you own that and you have rights to that. So that's one of the things that Little Africa Food Cooperative is here for. And that's kind of my time. I don't want to take all the time. I want to just turn it over to Angela so she can speak on her aspect of it, because I get it work.
So we do come with passion, and we want to bring a business to East Cleveland. We're part of the Black Food Co-op Developers Network, and we want to develop and bring a food cooperative to East Cleveland. We are, as Mickey mentioned, the Little Africa Food Cooperative, and what that in essence means is that the Black-owned grocery store will be owned by the residents. They will be owners of the grocery store. We're looking to bring affordable, high-quality grocery store to EC. And we just wanted to let you know that we're here as you're asking for businesses, asking for healthy food, that we want to come. But there are some challenges in coming. We need support in order for the business model to work. We need the support of the community. So we just wanted to introduce ourselves to let you know that we want to come to EC. And we hope that you all would like to have us and work with us.
Well, thank you very much. So I'd like to thank everybody for coming out. God bless. Have a good night. Can I get a motion for adjournment?
Madam Chairman, I move that the meeting be adjourned.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.